Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Semi-original guy, aka Mr. Cannon from Advance Wars by Web, bringing you another episode of Semi-Reviews, where we take a lower rated games and try to figure out where people went wrong and give some sort of unsolicited advice if we possibly can. Now, this is actually solicited advice because the player did submit this one asking for some feedback on what they could have possibly did. So, yeah, we have ourselves an Adder versus a Jess battle here. Now, this is pretty standard for Tier 4. And we have a strong side versus a weak side. We're playing on Ball Twister MK3000 is the name of this map. What a name, folks. What a name indeed. Now, we got standard strong side versus weak side dynamics here. Strong side is going to be able to be responsible for grabbing this corner and then pushing out into the center. Basically, strong front is going to be trying to grab all of this right here. That's what it's going to be doing. And it's also going to be responsible for grabbing at least this portion over here. This property could fall to this base's responsibility, but I probably wouldn't advise that. I mean, you could do it, but once you get an infantry down here, capping this, and then it can go cap this, and it can join the fight over here. It will take a little while, but this base right here is going to be solely responsible for like holding the line in this area right here. So you gotta hold the line right there, folks. That's what it's all about. And you can also go over here and start putting some pressure on these properties here. But essentially, you know, strong side versus weak side, you try to get the comm tower, you try to hold the comm tower, and you just do a whole buttload of damage to your opponent as you're going along. So that's basically what we got going on here, folks. Adder versus Jess. The movement versus stronger tanks and weaker infantry. So that's what we got here, folks. So without further ado, let's go ahead and see what went down in this matchup, folks. Alright, here we go, folks. On the first few days, we have this standard infantry builds. You gotta get the infantry on the field, folks. Number 1 priority in Advance Wars by Web. Number 2 priority in Advance Wars by Web. Make sure that you like and subscribe to the channel for all that wonderful Advance Wars content. Now, going for the neutral base, number 1 priority. Number 2 priority. Number 3 priorities. Go for that base, folks. That's what you need. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 combo. Opening recon. Okay, so this is an interesting move. Very, very interesting move, opening up recon. Recon is actually going to be pretty strong when it comes to denying some income in the center. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Recon is going to be able to automatically jump to this spot right here. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Can pretty much cover like all of this right here. Like, it completely zones out this entire area and will deny all this income right here. So actually, you know what, recon, not really the worst idea, especially Jess recon. Jess recon is pretty strong, so it really just depends on what Schmibly decides to do here. It's gonna be busting out the infantry, folks. Busting out the infantry. So yeah, that recon automatically is becoming a problem. You gotta be figuring out some kind of counter to that pretty soon. Unfortunately, Adder only has 7k, so he's not going to be able to buy a vehicle yet. Now, a Chris here, 7k in the bank, could potentially buy a vehicle. And might even... Probably is not going to do that, because you would have to like double base skip in order to get a tank. Really not worth it. Now this attack rate here is... It's okay. So we do a lot of damage. I think it's actually pretty much fine. Now there is the potential for Blue Moon to move the infantry right here and box this guy in. But the recon still has enough movement that it should be able to get away, especially if it decides to go down south. So Schmibity will probably bust out a tank from this position, right here. But Recon's going to be able to get away. But the tank could chase the Recon down. But Recon is going to be able to at least get, like 2 more hits. Like probably at least 2 more interrupts here. So deadly Recon is deadly, folks. Got to be watching out for that early Recon buy on this map. Alright, so I'm giving him the gambit here, folks. You know, he could go in and attack this, but he's gonna get blasted by a tank. So the correct choice for this recon at the moment is definitely to be going down here and attacking this vulnerable infantry, interrupting this guy and getting that income, or denying that income. Now you could do that. You do run the risk of losing the recon, but at that point you already, like, you denied an income and you slowed down income over here, so it might not really be too bad to lose the recon at this point. But if you don't want to lose the recon, you can always bring it back here and start harassing the comm tower over here, which could definitely be a choice also. So we'll see what he decides to do. Gonna go down for the cheeky hit. I do not disagree with that, folks. I don't disagree with that at all. Chris busting out the tank now, so Schmibly probably attacking the infantry on the mountain. Okay, so that's fine. That's fine. It's not really too bad. Alright, so skipping the property to go and grab the comm tower is not the worst move. Jess could just simply forego this capture and interrupt here, but that would lose her the infantry, so it would probably be better if she actually just allowed the comm tower capture, I think, and just went for the income. Because that would boost her to 11k, 12k after that, so that wouldn't be too bad. Probably wouldn't bother interrupting, actually. But you are on your strong side when it comes to infantry, so you could interrupt this. Bring this guy down, bring this guy over. Like, you're probably going to get this income anyway, so you could interrupt it. For sure. It's a possibility. Alright. Now, if Schmibly had actually busted out a tank from this position, this recon would have had pretty much nowhere to go. The recon's right here. It would only be able to go to one of these two tiles, which is in range of the tank. So if there's a tank right here, recon would not be able to go anywhere, and it would be guaranteed to be KO'd next turn. So by busting out the infantry out of this position, it actually allows the recon to live for one more turn. Tank probably should have just went down south, I think, is what I think should have happened, because you could just build a tank up north and next turn too, and it would be enough to ward off this tank. Plus, you're on your strong front, so you don't really have to worry about it too much. Tank down here would probably be a really good idea. But sadly, unfortunately, that recon gets right into the heart of enemy territory right now and is going to be able to at least injure one more infantry. There's the interrupt on the comm tower, folks. Busting out a tank down south from a Chris. Okay. Bringing the tank over here. That is out of range of this tank, so that's not too bad. So going to be going for the interrupt. Could potentially go for the interrupt of the comm tower too, which probably will happen. I really would probably suggest to get the income though at this point. Ooh, worst case scenario, at least go for this income right here, because that's like, this is a guaranteed income. So I would probably really like to get that. So we're probably not going to get this comm tower anyways. So moving the infantry onto this position right here is a little bit riskier, because yes, we do get the attack here, but it opens it up to a tank strike, an infantry strike, and another infantry strike, which would KO the infantry right there regardless. I mean, even tank plus infantry would KO the infantry, and then this infantry would go here and interrupt, or the recon would still go over here and interrupt. So this is a very dangerous situation to be in. If we're going to go in and attack, I would want to stay out of tank range and maybe just like bring the infantry back here and then move in with this infantry and attack. Because at least then we would guarantee that hit, and then we would only get hit by one attack. And it's a Jess infantry, so it's not really going to be doing too much to you. But moving the infantry up here, I kind of just fear the worst for it. But he does go for the capture, but like I said, a Chris, he's just gonna go up with this guy now. Like, this is gonna hit this, or even worse now, the recon is gonna get away with another hit down here in the corner, allowing for a KO of this infantry now, which could be even more deadly. So denying even more income, that could potentially end up really bad. But surprisingly enough, Schmibity, even though he's got like the majority of his income denied at this point, is actually still ahead in captures by 1. It is very surprising. So he's not doing too bad, but this flippin' recon has been getting away with murder this game. Holy moly. Okay, let's see what we got. KO a 1 HP infantry. Guy's not really going to be doing a whole lot else, so might as well do that. I would not, in this situation, attacking with this tank is perfectly fine up north, because there's no way that we can really get 2 hit. This tank's not in position to hit, so this is a perfectly fine hit. I don't see any issue with that. We got a secondary tank coming to back it up too. We get this capture, which is going to be great. I would not, though. I would not take this hit. That's not really going to be great. So we can go in and we can do the damage. But Jess is going to counterattack and then attack again. And it's going to hurt. And plus we're attacking in base range. So next turn, Chris could just bust out a tank here. And then we would be in trouble. So probably play more defensive with that tank. But I don't know, still gonna go up and take the attack. Well, I mean, choices were made, so that's perfectly fine. Maybe it's a good choice, but I don't know. Don't necessarily feel it too much. We do guarantee the capture of this now. Unless we go tank and infantry, but I don't think that'll work. I don't think we have enough to clear it now. But tank can just fire right back here, and it'll be perfectly fine. Like, it'll be an even trade, if anything. So hopefully Chris just fires right back with the tank from the city. Brings the tank back for heals. Alright, this one, that's not really worth it to go in for that interrupt now, because this is guaranteed. So that cap is going through anyway, so if you're going to play more defensively, then you got to play more defensively. You got to bring it back and bait your opponent into attacking one of your guys, so that this tank, once it heals up to 8, will be able to fire back at this tank. Or something. But this capture is going to go through. It's at 1, so unless you actually can clear the infantry, not really worth it to go in for the attack. However, at the exact same time, there is nothing that can really hit it aside from the tank, but the tank can go here, hit it from this tile right here, the silo tile, and be able to get the clear. So essentially you're just throwing away that infantry. Infantry attacking recon. Don't really mind that. So there we go. See, the tank moves onto the silo, clears the infantry, so that's not really an issue right there. But if that infantry had moved back, then tank wouldn't have had anything to hit. Maybe it would have gone down here to get heals, but doubtful. Another recon up in the top corner too, causing a lot of mischief. I'm liking Adder's position up north though. So there's not really too much that Chris can do. Chris can move in, he can take this guy out. Ooh, you know what? Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Would not suggest doing that. So yeah, there's not really anything we can do against that, especially with this many tanks over here. And Adder's about to get co-power, so that'll be co-power. So Adder will have 120% attack. So you got to be watching out for that. Busting out the battlecopter, perfect move. Okay. Day 10, battlecopter, very good idea on this map. Especially when you're fighting Jess. Bringing the tanks in. Ooh, if Chris doesn't build a tank up north, this might be a problem. Okay, it's not that big of a problem. So Adder can go in here, and he can get 3 hits with these tanks, but he's only going to be able to clear 1 tank and half, or get another tank down to like 50%. He'll be counter-attacked by 2 full HP tanks plus a 50% HP tank on these guys with just power. So this is not something that you really want to be attacking into. If anything, what you could do is you could clear this infantry and then finally send this tank up here, maybe take out this recon, guaranteeing yourself this income in a few days. That's what I would probably suggest, but we're gonna activate the side slip. And the music gets flipping good. Oh my. Alright, but why do we activate side slip? So we move tank down here. That will be in range of this full HP tank next turn. Chris double base skip too, which I definitely would not suggest. But Chris is also ahead on income now. Now imagine if he built a tank. Like, I don't know why we would double base skip. That's like, at the very least, just build infantry. Just build infantry. Chris's idea might be he's trying to save up income to get a Neo tank, but he's not going to get a Neo tank. Because 18 plus 6 is going to be 24, but you're also sapping funds out of these 2 units right here. So it's probably not going to be enough. I mean, it might be enough. That's 14, that's 28. So this would be 24, 800, 2200. You would have just enough to get 1 Neo tank. And that's it. If he wanted to get stinky. But this move right here is throwing away a tank, because this guy's going to come down and just obliterate this guy. And like I said, I would not really suggest attacking... what's the roll? Okay. Ooh, Grim, getting stuff done. Okay, let's see here. Okay. What's the roll here? 41 to 47. Okay, so it's not guaranteed. But I don't like attacking from here, because like I said, once Chris gets co-power, he gets a free shot on this tank. And it's going to be absolutely massive. Now, foregoing the income for a little while, guaranteeing the KO on this infantry and then attacking from this tile, the forest tile, would be a much better idea. And then playing more defensive over here, but can get this income, but he's not going to be able to get like anything else. Like, you can't keep the fight up, unfortunately. And look, he gets the roll on that guy anyways with this 7 HP guy, but now, because of the positioning, this is allowing for a free hit with this power. So it's going to be pretty devastating. Ooh, that is also throwing away 2 tanks. Okay, so in total this turn, because of the positions that we took, we throw away essentially 3 tanks. Like, this is going to get hit. This is going to get pretty much deleted. This is going to get hit pretty hard. This tank's not going to be in position to actually reinforce these tanks. And this guy is doomed. Yeah, 22,000 income. Perfect. Okay, that's exactly what I thought. Like, if Chris builds an anti-air down here, like, he's basically set at that point. But he's definitely got to pop the turbocharge. So, yeah, he's going to be able to do a whole lot of damage this turn with that. Unfortunately, poor positioning has led to this sort of endeavor here. Mech attacking tank is okay. That does leave the tank open to attack something else. But I think tank is just going to do way more damage over here, right? Like, I'm fairly certain, like, a tank should come super close to clearing this guy. 59 to 66. Okay, so maybe tank plus infantry would be able to clear this guy. So I probably would just go with the tank. Although tank could go here and attack this, but then at least that tank would be able to come and attack. Either way, I mean, Chris is going to do a lot of damage this turn. Okay, so this is fine, but tank plus infantry probably still would have cleared that, or at least come very, very close. Mechs could have got a little bit closer to the front line. All in all, not really too bad. But yeah, this attack up here, because of the co-power, was massive. Absolutely massive. Needs an anti-air down south, though. I wouldn't really worry about the battlecopter up here. Battlecopter's going to take forever to get to the front line, for one. But anti-air down here, because the battlecopter will be an immediate threat. So I would really want to take care of that before busting out a battlecopter. Doesn't really matter too much, but either way. So battlecopter going north is not necessarily a bad move. Adder's battlecopters are going to be much stronger than Jess's for sure. Let's go on another battlecopter. Okay, so now Chris really needs to bust out the anti-air. Anti-air is going to be super strong against Adder, because Jess's movement bonus is a huge plus when it comes to that. Got the anti-air. Anti-air tank. Okay. So, Schmibbity. Adder, what do we do? Not really too many options. Doesn't have a co-power. Could use a battlecopter tank to clear this. Maybe block with recon or block with infantry. Go for this cap with infantry. Block with a recon. Bring tank up. Bring this tank down here for heals. Grab this property. Like at this point, you have to get this guy out of here for sure. This guy needs to come down for some heals. This tank won't be able to reach down here, so do that. We bring this guy over here. No, bring this guy over here. You could go up with battlecopter plus tank to clear this, and then use infantry to cover, but tanks are going to come in really, really hot and probably break your line right there. So it will be kind of risky to do so, for sure. But if you distract enough units, you might be able to grab this property right here. So I mean, that'll be cool. But I don't think that you would be able to get it. Regardless, could focus on doing some damage for sure though. So battlecopter right here plus tank from the comm tower. Most likely would, actually it's not even most likely, it would clear this tank, and it would be virtually no repercussions for that. I mean, like, tank could come down here and attack, but that's about it. It's the only thing you would have to worry about. And even if so, you could block with like one infantry. Oh, would not. Yeah. Alright, so when we're considering attacks in Advance Wars, it is really important to keep in mind attack order, right? So moving infantry, and then attacking with battlecopter, and then attacking with tank. The chip damage you're going to take on the battlecopter is going to be significantly less than the chip damage done to the tank. So attack battlecopter first, follow up with tank. Your tank stays at full HP, and then you don't really have to worry about it at that point, you know? So definitely keep those things in mind for sure. And this does allow for an attack on the tank here too. So now we allow for an actual 2-hit on the tank, potentially. Yeah, we could allow for a 2-hit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it would be a pretty okay 2-hit actually. So battlecopter would move in, could clear this, tank move down here, attack this, 4 HP tank loops around, attacks down here too. This tank comes down here, attacks this. You build anti-air next turn, and then you cover the battlecopter that just moved in here. So that would be pretty good. And then like this tank could move in, attack. This tank would probably be either at like 0 or 1 HP. Be very, very low, that's for sure. This tank could even move like right here and be in line to cover when another co-power comes out. But yeah, unfortunately, if the tank had attacked second and was at full HP, like, I would have absolutely no worries about that tank, like, dying. But now I do have some worries. Now, I don't know if Chris is going to go in for that attack, though. This is perfectly fine, so that clears a unit. And Adder could pop co-power and attack, and pop co-power and attack the mech. But anti-air potentially coming in here, so... Well, not even potentially, it's just it does come in. Alright, so just out of curiosity, I just want to check what the damage calculator would look like for this. So we have a 4 HP tank versus 3. So we're doing 20 to 25. Okay, so we're doing 20 to 25. Now let's just back up for a second here and let's take a look at this engagement right here. So this one is doing 46 to 52. And we do 5. So it does the higher end, we think. Could be the chip damage. But we think it does the higher end, so 52. So the other guy coming in, there is a slight possibility that it would clear, but it's not 100% guaranteed, but it could go down to 1. Then I think we would be in a pretty good spot, not even gonna lie. Now, if we do some damage and we manage to pop co-power, we can go in and attack it, but I would not suggest that. But this does leave this battlecopter open regardless. When the battlecopter could have went here and cleared the infantry and then this guy moves in for the attack, it would just do a lot more damage that way. But we build the anti-air to cover the battlecopter anyways, so that is very nice. So Schmibbity. Unfortunately, I don't really see too many moves that he's able to do at this point. This is guarded, this is guarded, this is guarded, and these are guarded right now. So we might have to pull back. Pull back and rebuild the forces at this point. Alright, so we're going to pop the power. It's not really a whole lot of attacks. I mean, he can go in here and he can hit this, but like I said, he's just going to get counter attack with turbocharge. Oh, that's not the best. Well, I don't know. So I guess it might not be too bad. Going up and attacking this guy, though, I'm not like a huge fan of going up and attacking that guy. Because this is going to pop, like, he's going to pop power, and he's going to slap back pretty hard. This guy's basically guaranteed to fall. There could, I mean, this guy's not really, like, super protected. I mean, this guy can fall from like the tank plus infantry hit right here, especially with co-power. Anti-air moves in, clears this right here, and then if we do that, then battlecopter and tank can actually just go and clear this, and then there's very little that he would really have to worry about down here. His tank's a little bit of a problem. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but tank can't actually help in this situation here. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Safe. Except from the battlecopter. Battlecopter could still go up here and attack. It's not like super safe, but safe-ish. Ooh. Classy medium tank. Okay, you love to see it, folks. You love to see it. So, I mean, I think there was some potential for some pretty big KOs this turn. Like, we could have definitely KO'd this battlecopter. And KOing the battlecopter at the cost of, like, you know, like maybe a 4 HP tank, it's not really, like, too bad. Like, maybe there's a possibility we might lose the anti-air next turn, but this battlecopter is gonna be pretty strong, and now the anti-air is actually in range of this tank right here. So this tank plus this tank is pretty much like almost a guaranteed clear on this guy, which will allow for these battlecopters to actually swing down here and start harassing these infantry, which could be very, very good actually for Adder, because then we would be able to utilize these guys and start getting some stuff done down here. So let's see what he does. Gets to clear on the anti-air, but right here, that is not the position that you want to be sitting in. And it's literally the only infantry that we can hit too. I would probably just bring these guys full down south and not even worry about hitting these guys, mainly just because of the super co-power. So +2 movement, that's going to allow for this battlecopter to get one shot by this anti-air, like no problem at all. Ooh. So I don't mind this attack right here. This is actually like not too shabby. Anti-air's got some options at this point, you know. It could go over here and attack now, but it could go down here and attack, and I would probably prefer to see it attack this one down here. Which maybe he's actually doing a really good job at like coming back after losing like almost all those units, but I think it's mostly just a bit of positioning errors over here from Chris. Chris could have did like a whole lot of damage last turn, but I just don't think he saw it. Alright, so he pops the overdrive, goes for the battlecopter. So this guy right here, this is the choice. So he either goes and one-shots this tank, or comes super close to one-shotting the tank, or he interrupts the income. So the correct choice is one-shot the tank. I'm pretty sure, like 9 times out of 10, I would one-shot that tank. Now this, okay, so Adder gets 1,000 income on you on day 15. You still have 15 days to flip properties back. And if your opponent's got no vehicles and you just have all these vehicles, well, you're gonna be having a good time, folks. What I would do, though, is I would sacrifice this infantry to attack this guy and interrupt that, and then move the tank over here to attack, and then use this tank to clear that tank right there. That's what I would like to see, because that would at least stop one of the caps from going on. But now Adder is going to get 2k. Clears one infantry with a side slip. Stops the infantry from capping the property. Goes for a cap right there. Okay, alright. It's actually going to be out of medium tank range too. It's not going to be... Might have to... If we want to guarantee this capture, then we have to sacrifice one of these 2 units as a blocker. Infantry won't actually cut it, because anti-air will just one-shot the infantry. And then tank can come in and interrupt. And then you can build like another tank, or even bring the medium tank up here and start putting like big pressure. So yeah, infantry is going to get... If Chris wants to stop the capture, he can. That's what I'm trying to say. If he wants to stop the capture, it is possible. But maybe he's not going to go for it. Doesn't go for it. Sees other opportunities. This isn't really doing too much right here. Mostly just injuring your own infantry. So unless we were trying to go for an actual clear, I don't really feel like attacking that guy really accomplishes too much. But it's going for the comm tower, so that's okay. Let's see, what do we do? There's a flipping classy medium tank in our face right here, and that is a problem. There's no way to hit this. There is a way to start a cap and guarantee a flip of income right here. So infantry moves here, tank moves in, clears, infantry goes right here. You got yourself a property. That's a possibility. Aside from that, I mean, if you want the easy route out of this situation, what you need to do is you need to get stinky. You could get stinky and you can get yourself a soiled abomination to fend off the medium tank, or you could be classy and buy yourself a classy medium tank. Now, the soiled abomination would be a much better counter to the classy medium tank, but you know, it just depends on how much soap you have and whether or not you value your smell. That's really all it comes down to, folks. Alright, artillery is a pretty good counter too, but it just depends on if we can hold the line. So let's see. Right now we do allow for a battlecopter strike on the on the artillery. Building a rocket though. Ooh. Well, unfortunately rockets do tend to get bullied on my channel quite often, so I don't know if it's necessarily the play here. I would prefer like big guys, that's for sure, especially with 25,000 funds that he had last turn. If he builds the soil abomination, that'll definitely force the Neo tank to run away. And he's ahead in income right now, so he could do that and then bust out like a classy boy every single day and just win the tech game, where Chris probably wouldn't be able to keep up with the tech game at this point too. So yeah, when you're ahead in income and like relatively the same on unit counts, yeah, same tanks, higher unit count, you tech up and you win the tech war. That's it. That's all you gotta do. Tech up. Get some classy boys on the field. If you want to get stinky, get your soiled abominations on the field. Invest heavily in Irish Spring soap. And have yourself a good time. Alright, so now Chris has managed to push in like a lot. He's gaining a lot of ground. Add our counters with the side slip. So there is a fairly decent attack that can happen here, right? So this tank could go in and get a huge shot on the anti-air, which will allow for the battlecopter. Unfortunately, it can't move in and attack classic medium tank, but it can move in and attack this tank, doing pretty good damage. Now if you do that and you block with a few units, you bring the rocket up, you bring the artillery up slightly, but not too far, and you should be having a pretty good time. Can even use the anti-air if you want to interrupt this capture here, which might be a good idea. Don't really want to lose a whole lot of income. This battlecopter is pretty annoying, but this battlecopter can counter it right here. We can get a tank shot right here. Get a tank shot right here, bust out another tank, get this capture. Like I should think Schmibbity has got some potential here, but he's got to attack that that anti-air. Oh no. Like at this point, like, what's it gonna do? Okay, like let's see. So it's got 2. You deny a capture. Okay, you deny a capture, but the issue here is you deny the capture, but you allow for your copter and your tank and probably your infantry to get lost. And like maybe even the rocket. Like the rocket could even be lost depending on where you put it. Could be lost. I don't really like that position too much here. I think we should have definitely should have attacked that anti-air. Should have just let the comm tower capture go through. Like, it's not too important. Like, Jess is gonna have a buttload of firepower anyway. She's gonna be able to do like huge amounts of damage, so just let it go through. Like, it doesn't matter. Does not matter one bit. So yeah, this turn could potentially hurt, but it really just depends on what the damage calculator on this classy medium tank is. So right now it's doing 72 to 84%. If we use a co-power, it's doing 88 to 95%. So I can't one-shot this on its own, but it can do a lot of damage. So it does a lot of damage. You follow up with this attack right here. This guy moves over here, sits on the city, attacks the artillery. Anti-air clears this. Everything is out of rocket range at that point, and Chris gets a city out of the entire situation. And down here, like, the copter is lost now because of that push. Anti-air is potentially lost. I like these two attacks here though. These are great. Classy medium tank buy. It's beautiful. You love to see it. But I just fear for the north right now. Like, I think if Chris really sees some good attacks here, because now he's got an attack here, like I said. He's got the clear on the tank. Anti-air clear here. Like, he's got so much potential. And I think he sees it. Yeah, he sees the potential and he goes in for it. Ooh, and like 50% damage right there. Loses the copter. Loses the anti-air. Another classy medium tank. Oh boy. Oh boy right there. Alright, so has to base skip because he doesn't have enough funds for anything else. And now Adder is definitely in trouble. Now, imagine for a moment if this guy was basically just taken out of the equation right here. Like, we wouldn't be having to deal with him at all. He'd be at, like, what? Like, maybe 2 HP, like, lowest. Unfortunate. Alright, so medium tank takes minimal damage right there from the artillery. Another classy medium tank. See, this is good. So now we're pulling back. We realize the danger. We've refortified the line. And now we're backed up by a rocket, which is pretty nice. Is there any way to hit the rocket, though? That's the real question. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nope. Nope. Rocket is safe. So Chris isn't going to be able to push in there without taking some pretty heavy rocket damage right now. But now, yeah, he knows that. He knows that. He's not going to be pushing in there at all. He's going to be going for the guaranteed capture up north. And pulls everything into the center because that's where the main fight is happening right now. Chris gets the clear with the rocket, which is pretty good. I mean, that clears a 7 HP tank. That 7 HP tank, like, what did it do? It cleared the artillery, which is fine. I mean, we don't want the artillery to be sitting around here, that's for sure. Alrighty, medium tank going north, dealing with this little situation here. Chris is going to be flipping that. That's going to make it 19 to 21. And now it is 20 to 20. Ooh, with the threat of a comm tower coming through here. Moves the medium tank onto the road. The road warrior over here, folks. Don't really see anything wrong with that. Medium tank spamming, folks. Like I said, now at this point, now the roles have kind of reversed. So now Chris is ahead in pretty much everything. So now his goal in this situation is just going to be to spam out the tech cam. You just start spamming the medium tanks, folks. or just any sort of vehicles in general. You know, you can spam medium tanks, you can like tank spam like out the wazoo. You can get extra copters on the field. Like pretty much just any tech that you can get, you just get them out. Get them out on the field, folks. This is vulnerable to a medium tank strike, so would definitely need to cover that, which I hope is going to happen. Big medium tank strike. All right, cover it. Good. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep. Okay. Safe. Safe. Everything is safe. So yeah, we can't stop this capture. So do as much damage as you can. Don't worry about it. Yeah, okay. Let's see what the next move is here. So turbocharge clears that so that we get a medium tank strike. Now this is going to be a lot of damage, 60% damage. Actually, not as much damage as I thought, but still a pretty significant amount because we didn't cap the comm tower first, folks. So as we know, real gamers don't cap the comm tower first, but if you want to be a sweaty player, you got to cap that comm tower first. Definitely one of the top priorities in Advanced Wars by Web. Alrighty, folks. So we are playing pretty close to increment now for Adder. He's getting pretty low on time. Both players are actually getting pretty low on time here, so I'm not gonna pick apart the moves too much, but if we see anything that looks a little bit out of the ordinary here, definitely gonna be calling it out. This placement right here is definitely an issue. I'll tell you that much. This allows for a medium tank 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to attack right here, and that would be a pretty devastating hit. It would actually 100% be worth it just to eat one artillery strike to make sure that this medium tank gets cleared. So definitely a little bit of problem there, I think. Now if the artillery, I guess it doesn't even really matter where it is. What did the medium tank clear? That's the big question. Medium tank clears an infantry. Yeah, that's not worth it. So essentially, we lose a medium tank to clear 3 HP infantry at that point. So not really a cost-effective trade at the end of the day here. If anything, maybe put it on the city, guarded by artillery at that point, ward off of this guy and this guy from coming in here, refortify the forces up here, build like a tech up unit to deal with these guys over here. Battlecopters are pretty good for sure. But yeah, you got enough units over here to hold the line temporarily. You got to build up the units over here and push them into the center to start dealing with this. So that is a pretty big threat. That's like, yeah, it's a pretty big threat. 3 classy boys, folks. Alright, nice placement by the rocket, actually, so that's not too bad. It's going to be causing lots of havoc up north. But medium tank picks the perfect spot, just slightly out of range here, and yeah, that is a goner. It's a goner medium tank, folks. Unfortunately, is out of here. So yeah, imagine if that medium tank was just sitting down here on the city, getting healed up to full next turn, and being able to cause some sort of ruckus next turn, folks. But unfortunately, he is gone to the great place in the sky, the great ether. Adder pops the side slip. What do we do with the side slip? Get 1 tank strike. I like that we pop the side slip before we attack with the artillery right here, because it does give you a little bit of extra firepower for sure. Bust out the soiled abomination. Alright, folks, we are getting stinky up in here. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Classy medium tank would not actually be able to cover this artillery in this situation. Stinky neo tank would be able to. Classy medium tank, unfortunately, wouldn't be able to do it. So, soiled abomination, at this point, is a pretty good cover for this guy. So if these guys decide to go in and attack over here, they will be countered by the soiled abomination. However, Copter is in range of copter right here, so that is a free copter unless we move this anti-air down south to cover it. Let's see if we do that. So we definitely should consider moving that anti-air down south. So where are we? This is where we are right here. Anti-air goes north, and now that copter is free. That is the freest copter in Advances by Web right now, folks. Let's see if Chris goes for it. Chris could go for it. And I probably wouldn't even blame him. Be an easy shot right there. These medium tanks, I wouldn't even really worry about these guys down here now. I mean, we can use one medium tank to... Actually, I would clear this infantry, use this medium tank to attack this guy, then like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If we use the co-power, we get a shot on this. So we can clear both of these guys. So that might not be too bad. See what he does. Alright, co-power. Boom. Gets the rocket. Rockets are getting bullied on the semi-original guy channel. Who would have thought, folks? Who would have thought? It happened. It happened. Ah, no. Don't go for that. Go for the copter. That's the freest copter in Advances by Web. I'm telling you. That guy's not even important. Not even important at this point. You go for this guy. Attack that guy. Get him out of here. I don't care if it's way deep in your opponent's territory. You get rid of this copter, get rid of that infantry, you get rid of these 2 tanks, then all you have to deal with is like 1, 2, 3 units. That's it. That's it. That's all you would have to deal with. Bring your medium tanks back to get healed after a while. Come back and destroy the Soiled Abomination. Be having a great time. Infantry might be able to clear the 1 HP infantry at this point, though. I think it might have the luck roll to do so. Probably would have just went up and done it, too. I mean, keeping the infantry here, yeah, sure, you do keep the threat of the property, but eliminate the infantry, then you can just move back and have the threat of the property anyways. So, yeah, it's okay. So this is actually not too bad of an attack because, I mean, we're out of the battlecopter range, but I still don't like the fact that the battlecopter is existing. So rocket taking a shot. Bada bing, bada boom. A couple more shots here in the center. Fun fact about the Soil Abominations, though, folks, if you guys take a look at the damage calculator of these stinky units here, they can actually go toe-to-toe with battlecopters and be pretty effective overall, folks. 19 to 27% taking 1 damage and counter. It's wild. It's wild stuff. Alright, in full retreat mode. Now, technically, Chris is actually winning here on day 24. Mostly just because he's got a comm tower. Right, so he's got that additional income that does count as 1 property, so it does put him in the lead overall here. So it's really just up to Adder to just get a property. If he can get a property, especially if he flips a property, then he'll be in a winning state. This move over here allows for the medium tank to clear right here. This guy's done. This guy's probably done. A little bit of a yeet turn right here. I don't think there's really too much salvaging the center here. I think Chris is just going to come in and just sort of obliterate the place at this point. Hey, 24. Let's stop an attack. Does 30% damage to a flippin' battlecopter. Holy soiled one. Dude was on a mission. Was on an absolute mission. So yeah, in this position though, unfortunately for Adder, there is actually no coming back from this situation. I mean, at this point, Chris, Jess, he's just got too much stuff everywhere. Even with the Soiled Abomination down here, it's not going to be able to hold long term. Pretty much, yeah. All he's got to do is he's just got to keep attacking the infantry. It's got no units up north, base block now, so yeah, that is unfortunately the end of this one, folks. Pops the side slip though. Still trying to actually hold on over here on day 26. But yeah, lots and lots of properties are getting capped here. So, pretty sure this is actually the end turn right here. It does bust out another Soiled Abomination, but ends up resigning right here. But yeah, I think what it really comes down to here, folks, is just a lot of positioning errors, you know? It's just, throughout the map, there was just lots of stuff. Lots of little things, you know? I think this definitely was one of the big turns right here. So prioritizing this over destroying like these two units right here was pretty big. And like just with a normal co-power would not be able to cover these two units. So you move in, you attack this, you move your rocket into position to cover those units so that the medium tank can't really get a whole lot of value. Like, you're in a pretty good spot right there. Like, from that attack. Now, this down here is, like, pretty wild. Pretty wild indeed. So, I mean, we're not going to worry about that too much. But, simple little things like that, for sure. What else? I know there was definitely something else. Couple things. I mean, there was lots of things. So, we discussed them all, like, throughout the match, but it's really what it comes down to, you know? It's just a little bit of positioning errors and maybe a little bit of unit priority too, just purchasing units. This recon though was definitely out of control. So MVP maybe? I don't know, folks. Perhaps. Hopefully you all enjoyed that one. If you have any extra tips for our good friends in this game, feel free to leave them in the comments, but make sure to be kind and respectful, folks. Okay? None of that. Be kind. Rewind. Have yourselves a great day. I will see you on the next one. Take care, and bye-bye for now.